Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Tech Archaeologist, and this time we are going to discuss, the shortcuts, the command line, etc., etc. So the major part of what forms the Linux operating system is the command line. Now, what is the command line? So the command line is the original interface to the operating system. Back in the dark ages when there was no GUI, as we discussed last time, we had to type in everything to have the computer give us some output. And it has, for Windows, it must have been, relegated to the backend, or it's been relegated to only the developers or the more advanced users. But on Linux, it still forms a major portion of permissions and administrative level actions which you have to do. Do use the terminal. So how do I open the terminal? So as I showed you last time, press the Windows key, it opens up the activities menu, and I just begin typing terminal. So, and you see the terminal app, and I just click enter since it's selected automatically. And we can see here, this is the terminal. So what is this? Okay, so this is just, it's the prompt. After this $sign is where we type. And what does this mean? TTA M61PMES2P. So TTA-M61PMES2P is my computer, and TTA is my username. So I am this user who's running on this computer. That is all it says. Okay, and we'll go on with some basic commands. So the first basic command is, I'm in some folder right now and I want to see what files are there in that folder. So the basic command is ls. So ls just lists all the files which are available in that folder, and you can see my desktop documents, etc., are available in that folder. The second command is changing folders. So let's say, I want to go to music. So I say cd music and enter, and you can see music has already come up as part of my prompt. So originally I was in the home folder, under home and TTA, I believe. So let's check that. Now how do I go back? So to go back, cd space ... Okay, and you click enter, and I'm back to my original folder. I say ls, and we are still here. And now I need to know what my path to the current folder is. Okay, let's say that it's not just /music, it's something very big and it's covering a large part of my screen, and I'm too irritated to just go on reading through what the path is, or it's not showing me the entire path. So I just say pwd, and it shows me the path of the current directory. So directory essentially means folder, and you can see I am under the home folder under TTA. So TTA is my username, and for this username I have these folders inside that. So it's just like Windows, just all your this is organized under the home folder instead of under users in C drive, etc., etc. So yeah, we are done with this, and then of course there is what is there? Yeah. So if you want to see, your internet config, etc., etc., so there is if config here. So NetTools is not installed. Okay. So let's come to sudo. This brings us to an important concept. So sudo stands for super user do, which is required in case of performing installation actions or giving permissions, etc., on Linux. So how it works is that there are technically two users on the system. Okay, one of them is the super user. Super user essentially means granting admin rights, etc. So even on Windows, if you have seen, even if you are the admin, just double clicking on an installation folder, it won't allow you to directly access it will not allow to access the C drive. It will come up with a prompt to say, do you want to allow this program or not? Okay, so that is somewhat like what sudo does. So if you have to install anything, like in this case we are installing NetTools, so in that case I have to use sudo. So once I say sudo, it will also ask me for my password, and only after I give my password it will allow me to install this. So let's just copy this. Now how to copy this? It's not just Control C, it's Control Shift C on the terminal. I click here, and again similarly for pasting it's Control Shift V. and it's right here. I say enter, it's asking me for my password, and I put in the password, and it's installing. It will ask, yeah, it's fetching something. Yeah, so all these steps, what happens is that connects to the internet, it finds those files, it takes up those files, you see it's preparing to unpack, it's unpacking NetTools, setting up NetTools, processing triggers, etc., and the installation is done. As soon as the next prompt arrives, it means the installation is done. Now let's run ifconfig again. Now I don't need to try ifconfig again right now. So I just use my arrow keys, the up key, the down key. So the last, as you know, is blank. So I use the up key, again up, and the second last command, as we know, was ifconfig. We can see it on the screen. It's right here. And I just press enter, and yes. So now you can see my various Ethernet adapters. Yeah, so which is which? Yeah, some of them. So one, I believe, will be just an internal, port like adapter, and this USB thing is what I'm currently using for my internet. Yeah, so you can see here my current IP address, net mask, broadcast IP address, etc. of the network I'm currently in. And now my entire screen is full and it's looking, kind of cluttery. I just want to clean it up. So there are two ways to do this. I can just say Control L and it clears it up. Or what I can do is, just to show you, something is showing up, I want to clear screen, I just say clear and it clears it up. So these are some of the basic commands on the Linux terminal. Also, it is important to know that GCC comes bundled with this. So GCC is the compiler for the C programming language. So you can, write any files or any program in C, and then you can just directly compile it here. And I can show you a basic hello world program. So for that hello world program, first, we need pwd. Where are we? We are here. Okay, what folders do I have where I can go? ls. Yeah, these folders I can go to. So let's say cd desktop. Now if I don't want to type the entire name, I can just type the first few letters and press tab, and the terminal will cover it up. It will automatically take up which folder I mean, as long as those letters uniquely identify which the starting few letters of the name of that folder. If there are multiple folders with that name, it will give you an issue. It will just select up the first folder of the sort, and then you're going to have to keep changing it again and again. So I come to desktop, enter, open with desktop, and now on our desktop, we will create what do you call that? Yeah, we need a notepad file. Let's see if we have any text editor. Yes, we have a text editor. I open the text editor, and why is this coming all in dark? Because I chose dark mode in the last video which we saw. And now I'll begin typing, hash include. Okay, where is this? Why can't I see anything? It looks like there's some kind of issue with dark mode and this program. So let's just turn it off. Come here to settings, appearance, light. Yes. So there's an issue with some kind of issue with text editor and the dark mode. And we come to hash include stdio.h, which should be the only file we require, and then we come to in main. So okay, those of you who don't know a lot about this, there is no need to be worried. It's not actually very difficult, just requires some practice. And this is a basic program. It will just for the channel, let's say hello tta admin, and let's say \n and \n here too. Okay, maybe, let's see. So \n is just to create move to the next line, and we have this, and we will save this to the desktop as I said, and I will name it first.c. Save, and it's been saved as first.c to the desktop. Now using alt tab to switch, as you can see, if I keep my alt pressed, then I can see these different windows. I have not left alt, I have just left the tab button. and I come back to the terminal, and we say again ls, and now you can see my first.c file here. Now all I have to do is compile it. So how do I compile it? So compiling is very simple. You just say gcc space first.c. So I type fir, and since it's unique I press tab. Yeah, so see, it took a little bit time the first time, and I pressed tab again, that's why it came up twice. And we have first.c. I press enter. Oh, again gcc is not installed. It generally is, which is kind of weird this time, but let's do it. Control shift C, Control shift V, enter. Yes, and I want to continue. Yes, so now this time it didn't ask me for my password because I've already put in the password once, and the installation is happening. Should happen pretty quick. Yeah, the installation is done, nearly progress 99%. Installing GCC. So I think from the recent versions on, they are not bundling GCC, but older versions of Linux do have GCC bundled with them. And after the install, you can just directly just say GCC, and GCC will turn up. If it doesn't, then it will show you this kind of issue, because GCC is the most common compiler even for the Linux kernel, which is on what this entire system runs. So yeah, it is done, and we say the same command again using the up arrow key. So yeah, again up, and yeah, gcc space first.c, say enter, and it has been compiled. But what does it mean it has been compiled? So it means a new file has been created, that is an out file, and the out file can be run. The out file is kind of like an exe on Windows. So I can show you the out file. I say ls, and you can see there's two files here, first.c and a.out. If you can't see it, let's clear the screen. Let's say ls again. Yeah, a.out and first.c. So I think the size of the text in terminal might be a little bit small, isn't it? So let's just zoom in. I can just use this to zoom in. Yeah, so ls, and now, oh yeah, before we continue, okay, I forgot one part of the program here. There is a last part to the program here, that is the return 0. We need this done, return 0, Control S, saved. Now after saving, I need to compile it again, okay, because the last compilation did not have this return 0. So it's like one file is provided to this function or this program, and it outputs that a.out file. And now to run the a.out file, we say /a, and again, since it's unique, I just press tab and it says a.out, and I say enter, and we can see hello TTI admin has come up. Okay, the \n, that is the enter character at the start of the line, was unnecessary. It just gave me an extra line. And yeah, so these are the shortcut keys to use the terminal. Now one of the last shortcut keys I will show you is Control Shift C is done, Control Shift V is done. It's Alt F4, and I like to use this because it's nearly universal. Even on Windows, you want to close something, you use Alt F4 instead of moving your mouse to the end of the screen and doing something. You see, it's always faster to use the keyboard, and this is a power user feature. You need to be extremely comfortable with the keyboard. The keyboard is, there was a time in history of computers when there was no mouse, so everything had to be operated by the keyboard, and still today many users tend to operate it using the keyboard. The pro users accept it using the keyboard. And why do you have to be a pro user? Because the let's not say 5, let's say 20-30 years ago, paper was the norm. Okay, at least in India where I stay, most offices etc. use paper. There were few computers, okay, there were few computers, not many. They were very bulky, they were irritating, and they were not very comfortable to use. But these days, everywhere there are computers, and all businesses, all companies use computers to manage their data, manage their activities, everything. And we are extremely comfortable with paper, aren't we? We can just write, we can do anything, we can draw, we can tear it up, we can make an aeroplane, anything. But we are not so comfortable with computers. Why? We have to be comfortable with computers for our country, for the world to move forward, and we need to be so comfortable with it that this should be our new pen and paper. Anything you ask me to you ask me to do something on the computer, and I should not be like, oh, I don't know. And even if I don't know, I should be like, oh, it's okay, I'll find out. I have the web, I have the resources, I'll find out. So using Alt F4 and the program is closed. Again, the same thing here, Alt F4 and it's closed. We are back to the home screen. Of course, you can see my a.out file and first.c file here on the desktop. Now next we come to Firefox web browser and a few standard shortcuts which I use with this, which work on Windows as well. So let's say we are here, we say google.com, and this is not a promotion, it's just to show you. So we are at Google. Again, the dark, okay, the dark is just something that sometimes turns up. And now I say Control T. Control T opens me a new tab in the same browser window. So this is the browser window and it opened me a new tab. So you can see two tabs up here right now, Google and new tab. And now if I want to say, I have a new window. So let's open something else here. Let's say hi. Okay, and make a Google search of hi. And there's some video downstairs. Okay, and now I say I want a new window, so I just say Control N on my keyboard and a new window it is. I can't see Google here, and you can now see two dots up here. So there are two windows open. So this actually shows how many instances of the application, how many windows are open. Okay, so we don't need this right now. I will close this. Now I don't want this high search. Okay, so I just say Control, before we go there, let's say I want to go back to the Google page. How do I do that? So simply using Control Page Up and Control Page Down, I can navigate between the tabs on the same window. And now I don't want high, so I just say Control W, and Control W just closes that particular tab which we are on. And these shortcuts are extremely useful. Okay, one last shortcut before I end the video is how to open one of these programs which are present on the navigation pane without using your this mouse. So the simple shortcut is using Windows and the number keys up here. So 1 will be for Firefox, as you can see is the first one here, 2 for Thunderbird, 3 for Files, 4 for Rhythmbox. So let's try 4. So I say Windows and 4, and you can see these get highlighted here with the 4 number. It's gone now. It was there for a moment and Rhythmbox has opened up. Okay, that's it guys for this video. Please like, share, subscribe. The 3 common things, but I will ask you mostly to share this video with people who you feel don't know about Linux, and because this is something they really need to know and it's important. Thank you for watching.